Well, thank you so much for coming on camera. It took me about an hour to talk you into it, but I'm glad you did. You have been my muse now for about 8.5 years, I think. So Kimmy is an old girlfriend of mine, a young old girlfriend of mine, and you look great, man. So why did we break up? What was the deal? What happened?
You were in the book.
That's
all
right.
the time,
Gustav's Lighthouse. Here it is. I have a copy right here.
Oh,
and this is the thing that broke us up, right?
Gustov's Lighthouse by Joseph McInerney.
It probably brings back a lot of horrible memories, but was I really into the book that much that I couldn't pay any attention to you?
Look at this tome. Don't you have an editor?
Well, I do. You know. Now, here's the thing. I asked you to come down here to spend the weekend, and you actually said yes. And you came in this morning. It's a lovely Saturday morning, and
I'm back here today because you called. And when you call me and tell me about the book,
right,
about the movie deal, when I see the interviews that you're doing with very important people and the parties that you're going to and the celebrations that they're having for you being on the cusp of fame,
right,
I'm very worried about you.
You're worried about me? Well, no, I'm surprised to hear you say that. Now, why are you worried about me?
I would wish for fortune and success, but fame is a two-edged sword, and I'm very concerned that as you tumble off this cliff into the free fall of fame, that if you're not careful, you're going to lose your center. Well,
that may be. But, you know, how did I handle Gustav's Lighthouse? There was a little bit of celebrity associated with that. It was short-lived, for sure, but...
Yes, but Hollywood's different.
Right, right. Well, so far, the people that I've been working with in Hollywood... Zoe Mackenzie is a screenwriter that I'm going to be co-writing this screenplay with and everything, and it's great. And you know what? I don't have an ego with that. I was telling Richard that if they want to change things about the books to make it a better movie, that's fine. I don't care. By the way, the book is, and I don't know if I know you read Gustav's Lighthouse because you were the muse that helped...
Chapter by chapter.
Chapter by chapter. I know you do. You've got your heart in this one. But this is Crosshairs in Croatia, and it is again another political intrigue love story, and it's going to be the movie, so I'm very excited about that. And I'm working on another book that I'd like to get your ideas about. Maybe we can talk about that on the golf course. We can talk about it a little bit now. But Crosshairs in Croatia is a little bit of a different thing for me, because it really is, again, a love story with the backdrop of lots of violence and lots of killing and that sort of thing, and lots of political, intrigue and that sort of thing. Well, I'm glad you're here, and you're staying the night, which is certainly advantageous for me, because then we can wake up tomorrow, have a cup of coffee, and we shall see whether we are getting back together or not.
Well, since you moved into this 5-bedroom house, that was an easy decision to make.
Well, you know, all of the other bedrooms are closed down. My stairway to heaven. Now, she hasn't climbed my stairway to heaven yet. I brought her luggage upstairs myself, and we're downstairs in my little area where I set up a little studio here every once in a while. I put a little black curtain up in the back, and she sits in a chair, and that's all there is to it. But when you come into the stairway of heaven, you'll recognize it from when you were here last time, I guess about a year and a half ago. All right, here's the deal. You're saying to me that you don't think I'm going to be able to handle this Hollywood type of fame. So what should I do? How should I approach this? Should I approach this just with general caution, or should I start seeing a psychiatrist, or what do you think I should do?
Well, I think you should approach it proactively. And while I hadn't thought about going to see a therapist, that's not a bad idea. I think a lot of people can benefit from having a dispassionate person listen to their ramblings.
Right.
But I would think that you may want to check into practicing some meditation in the morning that are centering, so that you can bring...
I'm too jumpy to meditate, I think.
Nobody's too jumpy to meditate. If you're jumpy, the meditation could really help you, give you a handle to it.
Right.
And it isn't to say that your jumpiness isn't an asset. It's a tremendous asset.
Right.
Your energy, it just goes and goes and goes.
Right.
But you need to be in control of it. So through practicing, it's a practice. Meditation is not an art. It is a practice. And you practice being able to pull your energy down, maybe coalesce it, maybe send it off in a certain direction, or let it grow again. But it puts you in the driver's seat instead of letting just our emotive self be the one that's piloting our life.
Oh, it's terrific advice, Kimmy. I think you should be back in my life because I'm lost without you. And I remember now; it's all coming back to me. You had these wonderful points of view that helped me get centered, helped me kind of find that spot that I needed to focus on. And now I'm sort of wandering all over the place. But so you read Gustov's Lighthouse. I know that you have. You inspired it. You were part of it, and you've not. I talked to you a couple of times about Crosshairs in Croatia, and I think that's any advice. You've read the book. Any ideas as to what you see in terms of a movie? Are there any scenes, any things in that particular book that pop out as the things that ought to be, kind of highlighted in the screenplay that you think would make a good piece of drama?
Joe, you need to cut half this book out. It goes on and
right.
on and on.
It's too psychological.
And certainly, when you look at movies that are remakes of books, they take essential lines. You're trying to get down to the archetypal element of your character.
Right.
And present that on the big screen.
Right.
So, what are the key events that reveal this archetype, and what other archetypal characters does he encounter, and how can you put them together in a scene where the audience has the full impact of the well.
Right. Now, I've never been one to be into pornography, but man, I tell you, you are
yes,
one hot woman. I always hope that you would be. Now, here's the thing. I've got this little camera here, Kimmy, and not everything that we shoot.
Don't even go there.
All right, never mind. All right, so I've got this other book now, and I'm working on it, and Richard thinks it might be a good idea. It's the book about Venice, and I think I talked to you about that on the phone, about the house. What's your idea about that?
I love it. I really do love it. It's got all the elements of reality mixed with fiction, mixed with a little politics and science fiction, all thrown in together.
Right, exactly.
I think you got to hit on.
Well, I'm excited about it, and I'm so excited. I've already scheduled a trip to Italy. I'm getting to the point now where I've got this little movie thing going on, and now I'm starting to think, well, maybe in my mind, I'm starting to see the movie. I'm starting to write. All right, I'll write directly for the movie, and I'll bypass all my book because my book. Here, let me put this out again for those of you. This book, Gustov's Lighthouse, there is right there, is quite an emotional. Intellectual, psychological book. There's a lot of characters in here, a lot of their inner thoughts and that sort of thing. And now I'm thinking, well, if you've got something a little bit more science fiction-y.
You up a lot of emotional hairballs in that book.
Emotional hairballs? Does it say that on the back? Look, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say on the back. There's no description on the back about emotional hairballs. Look, there's the Pavilion Publishing logo for those of you who would like to see that. But emotional hairballs. Good God, Kimmy. Emotional hairballs. Well, all right then. But you liked it otherwise, didn't you? I mean, yeah, right. It's once in a while.
Venice is going to be even better.
So,
which it should be. As you practice your craft, you get better at it.
Oh, here's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about starting the book. See, I'm already thinking about visually in the movie, and I think Richard's right. It may be a mistake to do that, although it might not be bad, because it forces me to think more visually. And I'm almost seeing the beginning of this movie starting with a bubble that is just, you see this little bubble on the bottom of the muck of the lagoon, and you don't know it's Venice, and this little bubble just slowly kind of pops up, and then you see it just kind of wiggle to the surface, and then at the surface, you've got the camera at the surface, the bubble comes up, and there it is, Venice. And then you sort of see that the bubble is sort of, something rising, but at the same time it's ironic because it's a city sinking as well. So the bubble is sort of the hope. And the bubble we may come back to as a device, bubbles in, a Bellini, bubbles in a this and a that,
Yeah, and you can have the woman standing at the sink fixing dinner and bubbles start coming up out of the
right, because that would happen.
And then you can have the person who's ready to flush the toilet and the bubbles.
Well, of course, the hydraulics of the whole city would affect all the piping and all the plumbing and all that. It'd be fantastic.